I can't forget we're not in love anymore.
I begin, Mike, with an olive branch I need to extend.
Things will never be
Uh-oh.
To this
Was
man.
I right and you were wrong?
No, to this guy.
Oh.
The great Michael McDonald. I have mocked him forever. I keep forgetting all my songs sound the same. I've done this because here's why I have. It's 1976-ish. I'm a snarky 19-year-old. And this guy rolls in and changes the Doobie Brothers forever. The Doobie Brothers for me had been China Grove and you know, Another Park, Another Sunday, and albums like What Were Once Vices Are Now Habits, the Tom Johnston, Blackwater, the Tom Johnston, Pat Simmons, and then they kind of got turned into that. And ain't nothing wrong with that. They took that to the bank for zillions of dollars, and it's been kind of a fun bit on the show that I have a grudge against Michael McDonald for changing the Doobie Brothers. I know he's a genius, and after watching that, have you seen the Yacht Rock documentary?
No, not yet.
Oh,
Nope,
dude, you
nope.
have to. Listen, it just reinforces what an amazing, talented, remarkable, generational talent he is, and he is 73 today. Michael McDonald's birthday. So, Mike, I love you, man.
I love you,
Another
Michael
guy
McDonald.
named Mike
Happy
that I love.
B-Day. Well, look, I'm just devastated right now. I'm having a very bad day.
Sorry.
This ride was so exciting.
Uh-oh.
This ride was so short-lived.
What's happened?
This ride for
Oh.
Donald Trump has come to an end.
Did I miss
and
something? Is it over?
Yeah. Oh, it's big. I mean, you're not watching the right media.
No.
You're not seeing the right stuff. I mean,
Constitutional crisis?
it's so. Well, yeah, of course, there's a constitutional crisis. And
man.
yesterday, a group of Democrat lawmakers took to Capitol Hill.
People who really care about the
And-
public and who care about democracy.
Of course they do,
Yeah.
and you know, you and I've been talking about how flat-footed they've seemed to have been. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, they're kind of flailing about.
Have they
But there
discovered
is
is there wind in their sails? Have they hit their stride?
They have found the magic bullet. There's credible reporting that yesterday Donald Trump was cowering in the Oval Office with Pete Hegseth and with Elon. They are quivering in their boots. They have finally met their match.
Right.
I give you Mark Davis, a band of warriors. I give you heroes. I give you truth seekers. I give you the effective counter to the Trump agenda. Let me take you now to Capitol Hill.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Tell me, which side are you on? Which side are you on? We'll fight against DOGE. We'll fight Elon Musk. No Elon's kept within our walls. We'll fight from dawn to dusk. Oh,
That's it.
which side
Mark, which side are you on?
catchy.
I mean,
Which side
I think
Hey,
I
Mike,
heard
real
Donald
quick,
Trump,
first,
according to the Daily Beast.
Real quick. At your end, there's a mix minus thing. I've been hearing myself in.
Got a mix minus, guys. We got some kind of echo. Can we fix it,
It
please?
is now better.
All right.
Thank you very much. Okay,
Good,
now.
good. Hey, there's a report. The Daily Beast is saying Trump broke down into tears
Oh,
when he heard that. I mean, it's bad. This is bad, Mark. I was wondering when.
Okay.
Good
end
Lord.
End of satire. We're starting.
Well, I
to
mean, they're so pathetic. And how about them repeating the F word over and over again? They think that's
know.
effective.
What? I mean,
This
person
mother-
after person after person said, I hope my child doesn't hear me say this, but we just have to F Trump. It's like, what?
Guess what? Your child heard it, dummy. I mean, you're all over the news. Although, on the other hand, now I have to admit, we've got some PG-13 stuff. They're R-rated. We're PG-13. I had to call my boss and say, look, Elon Musk changed his Twitter handle. and
Yes, he
And he forced Dana Bash and others at MSNBC to recite the name. And Phil said, well, look, my rule always is,
You want to spell it?
if there, well, I wouldn't even spell it because here's what he said.
I will spell it. Elon changed his Twitter handle.
Well, spell it the way Elon spelled it.
To a guy with a first name of Harry and the last name Bolz, right?
Correct.
And so one knows how that would be pronounced. And it's just
So, well, it's kind of the European pronunciation would be kind of booze, but
sure.
Dana that's the sophisticated way. Dana Bash read it. He got them to do it.
Yep.
He's like Lucy with the football with Charlie Brown. He was trolling these dopes like Dana Bash, and she looks into the camera with this constipated look on her face, and she said, "Yesterday, Elon Musk." Who changed his screen name, and it's like, she read it. She said it out loud.
Of course.
I mean, then I had to ask Phil Boyce, well, Anderson Cooper, the Vanderbilt heir,
Here we go.
turns to Chris Sununu.
Chris Sununu, mind you, who has been dragged slowly into Trump world, but go ahead. But he's there now.
So he's taken Anderson out to the woodshed, pointing out, wait a minute, the Trump administration is so transparent. They're answering every question. And Anderson Cooper said, well, the 91 million, for migrants, it didn't really all go for, and so Chris Sununu says, oh, you mean the 91 million they discovered went to the hotel rooms for migrants in New York City? And Anderson Cooper got so flustered. And says, don't be a blank.
D. Don't be a D.
Don't be a D word. Yeah, the
Richard.
D word. All right, yeah, don't be a Richard. That's good. I can say that, I guess. I mean, these guys got nothing. Mark, I have to ask you something. Yes. Aren't you astounded that they've got nothing right now, that they've got no concerted plan, that they've got no counterpunch, that they've got no effect? Is it possible that what Trump is doing is so overwhelmingly, epically effective that they just can't keep up and they can't stop it?
Yes, and here's the element that makes it possible. The left has been full of it for decades. Their ideas have been garbage for decades. We have had the occasional successful communication operation in conservatism that we've had. There's never been anything like Trump. But you know what else we're seeing for the very, very first time? First of all, his team, magnificent communicators. Look at Pam Bondi. Look at Pete Hegseth. Look at J.D. Vance up against these chortling idiots. So you have that. But you know what the X factor is? You know what the thing that's been missing that we finally have? The willingness of the American public. The American public seems to have come around. Even the public has said, yeah, I guess we don't like wasteful Washington spending. But then somebody says, well, let's cut it. They go, you're trying to kill grandma. Stop it. For the first time in your life and mine, and we've been around for a while, the public finally seems ready to accept solutions like these.
I think you're right. I mean, I'm really watching this and thinking, I mean, yesterday was such an extraordinary moment where there was Elon with his little boy, little X, crawling around the Resolute desk and having a ball. And there was Trump smiling, and Elon Musk is answering every question. And it was such a refreshing moment, because at one point they called Elon Musk out. Apparently it was technically incorrect. It wasn't 50 million for condoms, evidently. There was some aspect of that. And Elon Musk said, you know what? I'm going to make mistakes. We're going to get things wrong. We've got so much going on. We're going to err.
Tell me when we do.
Tell me when I do, and we'll fix it. And then I'll correct it. My gosh, no politician talks that way.
As opposed to, let's take a look at the Biden mistakes. Joe Biden comes out and says there are 37 genders. Anybody stepping in and saying that's wrong would have been pilloried, vilified, condemned. I mean, Democrat lies go unchecked, and in fact, they get lifted and enabled by a willing media culture. So yeah,
who doesn't love a public figure saying, "Yep, I got that one wrong. You got to call me out on it." They are all about transparency. How do you push back against eliminating government waste? Here's the cover of the New York Post. The jihad bill. Here's how bad USAID got. It once paid for a terrorist's college tuition.
Tremendous.
USAID funded Anwar al-Awlaki's Colorado State University education as part of the tuition program for foreigners. He went on, of course, to be killed. He's one of the worst terrorists on the radar. USAID paid for him. Now, that's how bad it got. That's how runaway. And there are people I know some people in the Beltway, oh, this is terrible. Children are going to die. There's going to be no more AIDS funding. You got to keep the philanthropic aspects of USAID. But my gosh, if you don't see how broken a bureaucracy is that is funding terrorists, supporting Hamas. And look, Victor Davis Hanson broke this down brilliantly last night. I'm going to play it on my show today, where he says, let's get some basics here. John F. Kennedy signed USAID into existence with an executive order. Donald Trump signed DOGE into existence with an executive order. They are perfectly constitutional, plausible, legal, legitimate things to do.
Yep.
They got nothing. And I'm at a point right now where I'm feeling like I got to avoid wallowing in the nastiness of the left. But I do think it bears repeating how desperate they are. Here's this beautiful moment yesterday. Trump, Elon, little X in the Oval Office, answering every reporter's question, dealing with everything with transparency. You want to know what the MSNBC takeaway was of that press conference? You want to know what Lawrence O'Donnell called it? And the Daily Beast, of course, is excitedly running with this. Trump was humiliated in the most powerless image ever of a U.S. president.
By what?
Trump,
because he was sitting down and
sitting down and Elon standing and the little boy is running around, and Trump was, according to the Daily Beast and MSNBC, humiliated in the most powerless. Humiliation. They got nothing, Mark.
And this is funny because doesn't this run counter to the notion that Trump is an egomaniac and makes everything about him? He gladly steps aside and allows people whom he has wisely selected to enact his agenda, to let them have the spotlight, let them have some glory, let them get some positive attention, because it's all to the good of what he wants to do to, one could say, make America great again.
Rich Lowry on social media posted a picture of Trump smiling and gazing at Elon and little X, and Rich wrote, he captioned the picture, certainly looks like a self-coup or something equally sinister could be imminent. I mean, that's how stupid. All we can do is laugh at the Lawrence O'Donnells, Mark. That's all that's left to do.
And all I can do is notice a couple of other things, because you're totally right, because you mentioned Rich Lowry with that wonderful bit of analysis there. You mentioned Chris Sununu defending Trump on that CNN panel. These are two guys who not so very long ago hated Trump's guys. Not hated Trump's guys. Were those Republican virtue signaling weasels who just could not get on board. Well, they're on board now. And by the way, for everybody that's been late to the party, I just have one word: welcome. I'm not going to badger anybody. 5 years ago you didn't like him. 7 years ago you didn't like him.
Glad they came around. Let me give you another example. Meghan McCain. Does anybody hate Trump more than the way? All right, well, listen to what Meghan McCain wrote last night. More winning, Trump brought back Mark Fogel, a guy who was wrongfully detained in Russia for years. And last night in the Oval Office, there was a ceremony, and Trump had promised the family, I'm going to get him home. Meghan McCain last night posted on X, why couldn't Biden bring Mark Fogel home? The man was in prison over 3 years, and Trump took just 3 weeks to do it, she asks. Why was Biden unable or unwilling to make it happen? I genuinely want the answer here. Well, Meghan, welcome to the party.
It's a new world.
Welcome to the party.
And it brings to mind, Mike, a question that I could ask you, that I would ask the public and ask all of our listeners. I would ask everyone, every Republican, every Democrat, every listener, I would ask them in musical form, which side are you on?
Oh, I love it.
Which side are you on? I like it.
Off key. And sing it off key. Sing it a little bit off key too. Oh my gosh. These guys are miserable. Oh, they're just there. And throw in the F word a few times and you'll really get somewhere. And today, more winning, Tulsi Gabbard, Kash Patel.
Full Senate vote, right? She's
They're getting confirmed, Mark. They're going to get confirmed. This is happening, and they were the two that I was most worried about. It looks now like all the votes are in, the counted, as far as everybody knows.
Troublemakers, not
enough troublemakers, and they win. This is what winning feels like. Which side? F you, F you.
Stop it.
My name is Richard Harry.
Don't be a D.
Harry B. Harry testicles. Goodbye.
Oh, great. He got it in. He went there, kids. He went there. Mike Gallagher, available.
That's a biological term.
Of course it is.
It's medical.
My doctor says
It's medical. It's anatomy. It's how the doctor says
Here
it.
comes Mike.
Goodbye.